Hello and welcome to another epic review. Today we are going to be looking at the R.A.W. We have every single version of the R.A.W. to look at today. So we're going to go over them all, we're going to discuss my favourite variant, and we're going to look at some of the unique features on the epic R.A.W. and try and help you guys make the decision as to whether or not it's worth dropping salvage on this gun. I can save you some time as always, rather than mess you about. I would almost definitely say it is worth dropping salvage on this gun. So that's all you want to know. I'd say drop it, but here's my reasons why. So we're going to take a look first and foremost at the gun's design, and then we're going to go over some of its features. The design of the R.A.W. is one of the better looking, I think, epics. Again, I think the R3KT was the one I did last, and that was a good looking gun. This is another great one. It just looks so cool. It's got this all black paint on it, which looks really awesome. I tend to use like murdered out or scratched as my camo sometimes, so I like the all black guns. This one looks really good. Again, it looks more updated, more sleek than its predecessor. It's not got the kickstand on the front. That's gone, and it's got a secondary trigger now. Whereas you can see the normal variant's got that kickstand on it, and obviously the drum is that kind of sealed in drum, and obviously the logic behind it being like that sealed in drum is that you obviously can't reload this gun, so what you get there is all you're getting. And one of the best things about the look of this gun is this feature. The epics haven't been great. The epics I've tested so far haven't been fantastic for camos up until now. This thing loves a camo. They just go onto it so nicely. So if you've got your favourite camo and you kind of like wondering is it going to look good, answer absolutely yeah. Like every single camo just gets painted on fully, really nice coverage. Even if you look at the top there, even the irons are getting that paint treatment, and it's so vibrant. It's not like bleeding through any other colours. It's just really nice camo. The attachments on the gun, the accessories just go on there. They're really big on this gun, so if you've got one like I've got this one here, which is the jack on, that is massive, and on this gun it just looks great. So looks wise, it's a stunner, and that's going to play heavily into why I think this is a good gun, because the R.A.W. is one of my favourite guns. It really is a good gun. I've never been a fan of LMGs. I've never used LMGs. Things changed a little bit with Call of Duty because they've added in the this energy weapon feature, which I really like. And not just that in one unique gun that you've got to drop. Like in a number of guns, energy becomes a trade-off. And for those who don't know, the trade-off is that your ballistic guns are bullet penetration, and they reload with a clip. Your electric guns can also be reloaded with a clip, but they can also build up their own ammo. There's an attachment similar to an extended magazine, what will continue to charge the bullets up. Now the drawback of that is that you don't actually get an extended mag. So some of the lower clip energy rifles and energy weapons that you've got out there, they're going to struggle if you're running out of bullets. So there's no way of doubling up the ammo like there is with the ballistics, and of course there's no bullet penetration with an energy weapon. The bullets are going to hit the people, they're going nowhere else, they won't go through things, but the bullets do bounce, so you've got the chance of getting bank kills. Bank kills are probably really rare in core. In hardcore I get quite a few, but it's a spray technique. You're not going to be like pinging one off nice and cool. You're going to see someone around the corner and you're going to spray a few bullets, and it works well with guns like this or the Vault that are quite high powered, not so much the lesser powered guns. But the energy rifles really do make it difficult to pick between guns, and really bring some guns like the LMGs into the forefront of guns I might use. I used to always just use like an SMG or an assault rifle, but now with the energy, suddenly this becomes interesting, because of the three, this gun is fantastic. The Mauler is really good because it's got like a massive clip and it's ballistic, and the Titan's really good because it's really rapid fire and it's got a big clip, and you can it's constantly recharging those bullets. But the R.A.W. is literally a beast. It could be the best gun, one of the best guns in the game. It's a reliable, really reliable 3-bullet kill core, really reliable 1-bullet kill hardcore, and that's with nothing attached to it whatsoever. you stick a fusion on it, and no matter which variant you're using, you've normally got a really big clip. This variant, you've got the stockpile variant, which is the repeater, which gives you increased ammo. I think it goes from like 70 to about 90. I can't remember the exact number it goes up to. It might even go up to 100, but it's not as big as the epic one, which doubles the ammo. That would probably do you. These variants would all do you for hardcore. You're probably never going to run out of bullets, especially with a fusion mag in hardcore. With this one, this is covering you for core. Like, you just don't need to reload. It's essentially like having infinite ammo with the fusion mag attachment. The other attachment that I'd recommend as well is the like a sight. If you run sights all the time anyway, it's not a problem. If you're someone like me who likes to try and get themselves a point by not using a sight, this isn't the best of it. Its sights aren't great, and especially in hardcore, it's good to run kind of what's it called, an ELO sight, because it has the ammo counter, so you can keep an eye on if you're running low on ammo. But again, that's just not gonna it's really not gonna happen in a hardcore game with this gun. So the variants, we've got the first one is a readiness. I don't use readiness, pointless variant. You're never going to use that one, so that one's a waste of time. But then things get interesting. The first common variant has a good case because it's got that hip spread reduced. So if you're going to be like really running and gunning, especially core, you're playing some really hectic core game modes, if you run that and a laser, you've suddenly got an LMG that's very, very potent from close range, very potent from the hip. The only downside is it's a slower rate of fire, but 3-bullet kill and a really reliable 3-bullet kill up close, that becomes very interesting as a variant. Another really interesting variant is this one. This is when you get that extended magazine, which again, not so much needed in hardcore, but will definitely help you in core. And you get Headhunter, so your mag's going to instantly refill. Yeah, it's instantly going to refill when you get a headshot. Obviously, it's going to take that ammo out of your reserve, but generally speaking, you're going to be running Man of War, so you're going to have quite a big reserve, because obviously it's an LMG. Generally speaking, you would use Man of War for an LMG, although the epic variant has something to say about that as well. The legendary one, I never like legendary variants. This is not really much of an exception. You get the increased range, which on this gun is not massively needed, but I suppose depending on the kind of fights you're going to get into, because it's got that nice slow reliable rate of fire, having a slightly extended range is probably a bit beneficial, but not something I'd want. And then you got Gambler, which is an interesting idea, and people who likes the old specialist, like from, I think it was Ghosts? No, yeah, I think it was Ghost Specialist from I think that might be Modern Warfare 3, where you get a couple of kills and you get another perk. People who like that might be interested in this. Obviously, unlike that, you can't tailor which perks you're going to get next. It's a random perk, which makes it almost useless, because there's going to be perks that if you wanted to use them, you'd already have them on, and there's some perks that actually will make the situation worse. The one is that would really kind of screw me over, because I tend to run Dead Silence. I play a lot of hardcore. I'm sneaking about a lot. If you're using this gun and one of the random perks that it gives you is the Tracker perk, Tracker counters Dead Silence and your own Dead Silence. Not just other people's. For some reason, Tracker also counters your own Dead Silence. So if this thing gets Tracker while you're in Dead Silence, you're suddenly going to hear thumpity thump 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 your own footsteps. So that's a bit of a touch and go one. The interesting one is this Badger, because it's got that secondary perk. And I always say with these epics, the secondary perk are normally a little bit throwaway. Definitely not this time. That is one of the best perks you could ask to get on an LMG, Haste. Now, if you don't know what Haste does, what Haste is going to do is going to give you a small mobility boost. Now, the boost in testing, if I show you some videos in a second of me actually testing out this boost, if you look at the run speed of the normal, this is me using a Synaptic. So I'm not using Man at War. This is a normal run speed with a normal gun. This is exactly the same. All I do is swap weapons when I come back to the beginning here. And then if you look at me now running with the Haste, you can see a slight improvement to that movement speed. Now the strafing speed I've tested seems to be more or less the same. If it is changed, it's only tiny. But that running speed is definitely improved. Definitely improved. Now the improvement isn't as significant as when you go to Man of War. So here's me with the same setup, with the same gun, without Haste, running with Man of War. And as you can see, he's definitely chugging. But now if you watch when I switch over to using the Liberty with Man of War, he is literally getting his dust on. He's very, very fast. It's a good combination if you want to run and gun. with the RAW. Now, if you want to test out the haste perk without putting as much salvage down, the Titan has a rare variant that's got jackpot and haste. It's the Titan Warden, which will only be 500 salvage. So if you drop that, or if you want to buy that, that'll give you an opportunity to see how haste would affect and if it's something you can use. The Mauler has one as well. It's called the Mauler Ruin, but it's a legendary one. I wouldn't recommend buying it if you're going to test it out. If you've dropped the Mauler Ruin, then perfectly good idea, go and test it out. But the haste is a really good perk to have on LMG, because it almost means you can get away with running LMG with another class. So Synaptic was very good at run and gun. This becomes an interesting mix, because you can run this gun with Synaptic and you don't have to worry about the bigger ammo clip, because Man at Arms, the reserve ammo doesn't exist because you can't reload this. So that's already a redundant feature. And then the movement is kind of redundant because this gives you that additional movement speed. Again, it's not as much as Man at War, but it's a definite improvement to the movement speed. And for me, it makes this gun usable on other classes, not Man at War, for run and gun. If you already run this gun on a normal class without Man at War, then this is a must-have. Its rival would arguably be the common, believe it or not, because of that steady. If you are going to be getting up close and personal to people and you put that with a laser, then its rival becomes a very interesting one. The repeater, again the same, kind of interesting if you're going to be doing a lot of kind of like team-based games where you're going to be sat at one place, popping people, and you get those headshots and they're going to refill your mag. That's also helpful. But for me, not just because of its abilities but because of its looks, the best variant of the RAW for me is the Epic variant, and it is definitely a variant I would recommend dropping salvage on because it looks great. There's some footage here now of me just walking about in the sun, just looking at it, and it's just, this is no camo or no attachments, no nothing, just me running about. It just looks fantastic. It's one of the better looking guns I've unlocked, and that's it. That's my view on it. Hope that's helpful. The next review I'm going to do is, as you see, I'm level 39 with the Wraith, so level 40 with the Wraith I get the Cartel, like the pistol. So I'll do a review of that. Thank you very much indeed.